It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
DHS says that CBP officers shot and wounded a woman in Chicago yesterday after, they say, she allegedly rammed a law enforcement vehicle and agents were boxed in by multiple cars. The spokesperson for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, accused Chicago police of leaving the scene and refusing to assist agents in securing the area. What do you know about this incident? Were federal agents boxed in and assaulted?
Well, we don't have a lot of facts. What happens in these sorts of incidents is typically ICE puts out a press release before anybody else can speak with the press, and then it gets reported on social media and elsewhere. Remember, these are the same folks who killed a person, unarmed person, just a couple of weeks ago in Franklin Park. At first, they said that the officer had been threatened with his life. The reality of it and the truth of it has now come out, and that wasn't the case. They killed somebody. So here, it's really hard to know exactly what the facts are, and they won't let us access the facts. They are just putting out their propaganda, and then we've got to later determine what actually happened.
Somebody said, who the hell is watching Dark Vader? Ooh, somebody give him a CPAP machine. You over here trying to record. Yeah, we can't even pay attention to what Governor Pritzker said. Oh, well, the fuck his name is.
Were you consulted by the White House before they deployed National Guard troops to cities in the United States?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House.
You won't even say whether you talked to the White House about this?
I am not going to discuss any internal conversations with the White House with you, Ranking Member.
I noticed that. What's the secret? Why do you want to keep this secret? The American people don't know the rationale behind the deployment of National Guard troops in my state. The word is, and I think it's been confirmed by the White House, they are going to transfer Texas National Guard units to the state of Illinois. What's the rationale for that?
Yeah, Chairman, as you shut down the government, you voted to shut down the government, and you're sitting here, our law enforcement officers aren't being paid. They're out there working to protect you. I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
I've been on this committee for more than 20 years. That's the kind of testimony you expect from this administration. A simple question as to whether or not they had a legal rationale for deploying National Guard troops becomes grounds for a personal attack. I think it's a legitimate question. It's my responsibility. She refuses to answer as to whether she had any conversation with the White House about deploying national troops to my state. That's an indication, I'm afraid, where we are politically in this place. Were you consulted by the White House?
I mean, if we need to get these people pacifiers and baby bottles, they need to be burped and put to bed because people are on the hill are freaking, you know, they just tired and they need a nap like little babies. They throwing temper tantrums. And is this how, I guess this is how Congress works. Like, some people are there to conduct business and some people are there to get, viral moments. And it's the fact that people are cheering this on. It's like, we're not getting anything. That's why we can't get anything done. We can't get a simple thing done because as much as the only person who is transparent in the Republican Party is Donald Trump. And he's transparent to a fault. In fact, he's so transparent that it like throws off everybody else. So while he's being transparent, there's a lot of things going on behind this, the Republican Party that we missing out on, because he'll throw you for a loop talking about some crap, and then y'all be like, we be over here looking, well, he said this, and the whole time it be something over there.
FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy AG Time Blanche are headed to Chicago, intent on, quote, crushing, in their words, violent crime. Following close behind, the Texas National Guard, as the White House shows it's not waiting for a federal judge to decide on Illinois' request for a temporary restraining order against that deployment. Joining us now, MSNBC senior national and political correspondent Jacob Soboroff. Jacob, you have a lot of new developments. Explain to us what you've been seeing.
You know, the whole justification, Katie, for sending in the National Guard is that the president and the folks that work for the president painted a picture of a lawless Chicago, that the worst of the worst are roaming the streets, and that's why federal immigration enforcement has to be here to be part of this large mass deportation effort. Well, we just witnessed some evidence. MSNBC did. We rolled up on the aftermath of an immigration raid here in the Cicero neighborhood, 90% Hispanic, in the western suburbs of Chicago, where that wasn't the case at all. If we can put up the video, what we saw and have obtained from people who were here on the scene at the time was federal agents on the left-hand side of your screen outside of this bakery, La Baguette, basically picking up two guys who were here on their way to work, grabbing a cup of coffee. Literally, the cups of coffee are still, I think you can still see them still sitting on the trash can right behind me. And as we were reporting in the previous hour about this incident, about these federal agents showing up, grabbing these two gentlemen as they were getting their coffee and their pastries, one of the cousins of one of the two men, Daniel, showed up and wanted to talk to me because he didn't know where his cousin was or where they were taking him. He allowed us to film some of that conversation, so let me show you that now.
They just randomly showed up. He didn't do anything wrong. They just took him forcefully. They're scaring everybody around now, so I feel like a target too, even though I'm a U.S. citizen. But
You feel like they would even arrest you?
yeah, at this point I do.
Does your cousin have a family?
Yeah, he does. His mom, dad, everybody here, his kids.
He's got kids too.
Yeah.
FBI Director Cashapp Patel and Deputy AG.
Confrontations are rising between demonstrators and Illinois State Police here throughout the day outside of the ICE detention center in Broadview. This comes as the White House says President Trump has authorized the Illinois National Guard to be deployed here after an ultimatum was given to Governor J.B. Pritzker.
And I am here for my students and their families.
A crowd of anti-ICE demonstrators cheer on at least 4 people we saw detained by Illinois State Police as they were walked into a Cook County Sheriff's Office van in handcuffs. We blurred their faces since it's unclear if they will be charged.
Move back!
They were taken down as troopers were clearing the street outside the ICE detention center in Broadview.
Go to the protest area!
Backing protesters into designated zones, feet from the immigration building and surrounded by concrete barriers. Federal agents on the other side of the fence with their flying drone above it all.
I'm not here to deal with the state police. I'm here to deal with the kidnapping that ICE is doing. And it's immensely disappointing that the state police are putting themselves between us and ICE.
Tensions continued throughout the night between state police and demonstrators. This comes as the White House is confirming National Guardsmen will be federalized in Illinois. The White House saying in a statement, quote, amidst ongoing violent riots and lawlessness that local leaders like Pritzker have refused to step in to quell, President Trump has authorized 300 National Guardsmen to protect federal officers and assets. President Trump will not turn a blind eye to the lawlessness plaguing American cities. That decision coming after Governor J.B. Pritzker said in the statement earlier, quote, the Trump administration's Department of War gave me an ultimatum. Call up your troops or we will.
It's a continuing overreach by the president. I mean, the governor is responsible for calling up the troops when they think it's necessary.
That warning came the same day a federal judge temporarily blocked President Trump's attempt.
I mean, like I said, people from Chicago are saying it's necessary, but then you have people who are going on to the... Now, does the media puts who they want to put on the media. They want to put on the news. So are they spinning it? This is ABC Chicago. I don't know if ABC Chicago is politically biased. But I would assume they would go to a person. They will find somebody who is for this. But maybe anybody who is for this is not speaking out. And because they don't want to be doxxed, they don't want to be targeted, they don't want their family to be targeted. It's a lot that goes into this. So
you've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen?
Yeah, he glitched out.
Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you.
Citizen advocate.
He didn't charge his battery before he went out there.
Video shows the chaotic.
Was that Michael Jordan? Said, fuck it. That's great. It ain't even funny. But for real, nigga, fuck them kids, goddamn.
And I don't think any American would disagree that Chicago needs more law enforcement reinforcements, that they need more resources. Look at this headline from over the weekend. At least 30 people shot during the weekend in Democrat-run Chicago. 5 of them were killed in one weekend. This is completely unacceptable, and the president wants to make American cities safer, and he's willing to work with anyone to do it.